So today what we're going to do is I'm going to take a look at this board. We're going to look at the differences. First of all, I'm going to go through this procedure again about trying to update this, so you guys can get to see it, and I'm going to rush this through setting up and everything. But we're going to take a look at these two boards because this is what I got. Now the fault on this board is the video button doesn't work. So I can't just swap this board into here. There's only a few differences. This board is an updated version of this board. I can't just swap them over because in order for me to do the updates, I need to be able to hold that video button in. I need to be able to hold the video button in and pull the control stick, you know, down to the bottom left. Oops, down to the bottom left, and turn the power on at the same time. So you got to do it like that, you know. And I can't do that because the video button doesn't work. So that sort of throws out the window. Otherwise, I would be further forward with getting this sorted out if that were not the case. But if I'm guessing this correctly, and it's a bit more than a guess, I have actually been to look up these chips. I can't find anything on this Hubsan chip, just nothing. You can Google it in yourself, the Hubsan. Let me just... Oh. KW2167. There's a whole bunch of numbers underneath there, but it doesn't come up with anything for this chip. But for this Nuvoton, it does. And this seems to be where the firmware will sit on the board. So I'm thinking that maybe, because I know this works, I could take this off here and put it on here and replace it. If I can do that, I'm going to have to have a little look at the front of this one yet, because I've not done that, to have a look at that. But that's the thinking. But first of all, we're going to go through this update process again. So I just want you to see inside here that everything is connected. GPS is connected. The 5.8 gigs is connected up. 2.4 gigs is connected up. These are just for the switches. And the screen is connected up. Everything's fine. And I think this screen, you know the Cyma kits that you get, the FPV kits, I think these screens are the same. Because I've seen the inside when this is out of this, and I've also had my Cyma kit pieces, and I've seen that, and they look just about identical. So that'll be an interesting thing. So, right, so I'm going to power this, or, well, not, I'm just going to plug its power in. I like to plug both of these in, so I like to discharge both these batteries at the same rate, so when I charge them I can charge them at the same rates as well. I know that buying one of these boards, because I've already replaced this board in here, I replaced this one with this, it costs $20, okay, just for the board. Not without, you don't get the 5.8 gigs, but you do get the 2.4 gigs on the board. And there's probably a good reason for that, because on this one here, probably be easy enough to desolder this. This is a double layer board. But on these ones, it's not, because you can't actually get to these pins, and you'd have to try and take them off here. And for me personally, unless I nipped each one of these down, which I would have to do, because my solder sucker wouldn't possibly get over these long pins, it would be quite difficult for me to get it off. But let's just set up now to do the updates, and I'm going to speed through this bit because I want you to see me setting up and that nothing has changed, but I'm going to speed through it just because it's going to take a minute or two for this laptop to boot up. Even though it is pretty quick, it's just it's not as quick as what I'd like. So let's just speed this up. I think what we're going to have to do is have a little bit of a compromise between the viewpoints here, because I still want you to be able to see what's going on here, and I want you to be able to see what's going on here. And I don't have a magic thing, but what we can do is I can make that a bit smaller to make that viewpoint a little bit easier, especially by do it in such a fashion that it actually makes it smaller, not just brings it down there. Okay, so there's Annie, which is going to be telling us how to do this, even though this is pretty much a bit off by heart now. Now I'm not going to go straight into do the FC because the FC and this is two different things. I've got a battery that I just put a little bit of charge into. As we've got a battery, it's got enough power to put some voltage power into the quad. And I will get that set up in a minute because of course we can't actually do the RX update unless we have the quad with a battery to do it. But we've got to do it all in a specific sequence, and that sequence is, first of all, we get this connected up. Okay, we get this connected up into a port. Now I have 3 cables and I've tried all 3 cables in case there was one that has a fault, and this one would be my go-to cable really. And the reason why it's my go-to cable is, one, it's thicker in this one, so it just gives me a bit more confidence in the cable. Don't know why that is. This cable is actually from my CD drive, because this doesn't have a CD drive, and I don't have CD drives on my main computer because I have a CD drive that I use between my machines, and I can also take it out and help out other people if they don't have a CD drive or they've got issues with CD drive and they need to get information from a CD onto their computer. So I always have a portable Samsung CD drive rewriter. So first of all, what we're going to do then is, I know I've got power here, is we're going to connect up to the computer itself, and you can hear the computer's response to this. Oh, let's get it in the hole. There's several holes on the side here, and I'm probably going into. There we go. Right, let's. I'm not going to use the Samsung one, just to start off with. I'm going to use my go-to one. I really do need to. That's it. Look, the little face should be like that as the top. And then it's in there. Okay, we didn't hear anything. That's good, because I've not actually turned this on yet. Now, even though the screen doesn't work and we're going to be going in blind, and we're not going to see that bit of information written on the screen, it is still going to acknowledge. I'm going to hold the video down, hold that down, and yep, you hear that? But we got nothing on the screen. Nothing on the screen. Now, I'm just going to turn Annie's face up a little bit. I'm just going to go into software. I'm going to go into Hubsan. I'm going to go into the version that they sent me. I'd already got this anyway. This is the April's revised version. So this is the later version. And then we're going to go into the RX. This is for the H501S RX, and it says S only. So this is for version 1.2.20. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go into the upgrade tool, I'm going to run it as an administrator to make sure that we got absolutely full access to this. Okay. And so here we are. We're in. Now I'm going to make sure that you can see this. Yep. So you can see that. I'll put it right down the bottom of the screen. And now I'm going to connect. No upgrade tool connected. I'm going to just take you, because I don't know if you can see it on that, but I'm just going to take you in on that. Look, no upgrade tool connected. Now, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to connect using a different cable. So I'm going to shut that off just for good practice. I'm going to take this cable out and I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to get my Samsung cable, which I know works fine. Connecting. These are USB 3 sockets, and I will try around this side into a USB 2 in a moment. So first of all, I'm going to hold down the correct buttons, turn the power on. So the USB picks up that there is something there. And again, I'm going to go into this Windows Administrator again, just so we do it exactly the same every time. Bring this down for better viewing and connect. No upgrade tool. Connected. Okay. Now I've already got one cable left, so I can only do it with one more cable. So I'm going to switch that off. I can just stop that. Take that out, put that up there as well. And use this last one. Put that in. Video on the video, finger on the video button, holding them down both simultaneously. It acknowledges that there's something there. Windows Administrator. Bring this down so you can see what I can see. Connect. No upgrade tool. Connected. So I can't seem to connect there. So let's pretend, let's just say, hey, well, what if it's the USB port? Okay, so let's try this in the USB 2 port. So here we are, USB 2 port in. Again, it acknowledges it's there. Windows Administrator. So you can see, connect. No upgrade tool connected. And well, I think you can get the picture here, what's going on or what's not actually going on. So one more time with another cable, one of these other cables. Let's just be absolutely thoroughly sure. Okay, so the way I'm going to look at it is these boards here, both of them are sort of pretty useless to me, so I'm not going to use this Samsung, I'm going to use this one. Just because there's a choke on the Samsung, somebody might say, oh, well, you know, that choke on there might not work, whatever. And most people will have cables without that in line, so let's just do it like this. Bottom left, video button down, acknowledges there's something there, the computer does. Run as administrator. Just pull that down so you can see it. And connect. No upgrade tool connected, just in case you can't see from there. There you go. No upgrade tool connected. So that's it. You know, I'm out of options on that now. There's not a great deal I can do with that. I don't think all the testing, all the trying to do this in the world is going to make any difference whatsoever. So Annie, you can go away. I'm just going to shut that down and push it out of the way because I don't need this for the next bit. So what we're going to do then, so I can just remove this back over here. Take this off here. Nah, I'm not overly impressed with this, and I don't know why just yet, but I've got another one come through. So this is also a 5.8 gig. It's a little bit longer, but this one, it says Free Sky on it. Let's just put this out. Oh, well, there's a massive difference in weight. For starters, you wouldn't think that'd be the case. This is a RP SMA, so I've got an adapter. I don't normally go for the adapters, but I was just trying to find a. I don't know if you can see what it says on the scales there, but if I put that in the middle there, 25.2 grams, just in case you can't see so well. 25.2, take that off. 18.6. So that's more flexy than what that is. I mean, that's still got some flex in it, I suppose, but I wonder how much of this. I don't think that will probably be being used. I think it's going to probably be in here, and that's just for boasting. But it'll be interesting to see the differences between these two, because I didn't seem to be able to get on with this. It's possibly because it's a narrower. If you just imagine that that's doing the antenna work, it's a narrower sort of beam. It goes further, but it's narrower. And when you're using the 3 dBi, you're going to get a wider but shorter coverage from it, radiation. Anyway, that's digressing a bit. So the thing that we gotta take a look at, I always stick these on here just to protect my sticks while I've in the back. Well, hopefully, I'm missing a screw, even though I have actually found the screws. I'm missing the screws. That means I didn't put the screws back in it. That's just a little bit difficult. I bet you who have just watched me do that, probably going, you didn't put the screws back in. Well, good on you. It's pity I can't hear you guys. So let's just shove those out of the way, and we're gonna disconnect everything on here. Always pulling them by the sockets, not by the leads, if you don't want your things to break. There we go. And this little black fella here, you just pull this up like that, so it's flappy, and then you can slide out. Ribbon connector. Okay, let's bust this open. You know, well, this is the way I gotta look at it. It's with another board. Right now, I did contemplate on. I want a tray. I want a tray with the other screws in it before I tip it over. I did contemplate on buying just buying another controller, and I've seen one that's on a bid thing on eBay. And then I thought to myself, well, why not buy the advanced controller? But the advanced controller's got a 3-inch screen on it, where this one's got a 4.3-inch screen, so it's like losing nearly 1.5 inches of view on the screen. Which I suppose is, do I need that on? Yeah, I do, because I'm charging the phone battery. But I suppose the good thing about the 3-inch screen, or that controller, is that you've got a video output, so you can actually put a bigger screen on there if you can find a bracket to set up with. Now this is going to have the switch, which has fallen off now, holding it on, and also those at this moment in time. So if I just take that out and put that up out of the way. Yeah, this is what I noticed inside, and the size of this inside the screen that you get if you get the FPV kit for a Cyma X5C. I know there's for other models, but I can't remember what they are off by heart. It's pretty much exactly the same. So I wonder if I could actually swap out those screens and just see if I can make a difference. So let's compare these boards. Let's have a little look. Now, first thing to notice is this one doesn't have a battery in, but that's fine. Don't need it to remember expert mode or what the trim settings are or what frequency the FPV is on, because it's not being used. And of course, it's the other way up. So it all looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? So I'm going to go in with a guess that these two chips, and because they're mounted the same as well, that light's a bit rubbish for the way it illuminates, but I never thought I was going to be doing this sort of video. Now, I'm just going to see if I can get it so you can see that. Yeah, just it's more so you can see the way it's mounted. And then we're going to just look at this one. Where is it? So we want to be over here somewhere. There it is. So you can see that that's mounted the same. Okay. Now I will check the numbers on these, and just to ensure that they are pretty much the same. And I should do that and come back to you. Well, they are both the same chip. The first line, the W. Oh, let me just put this underneath here again. W058 LBN ARM is exactly the same on both chips, but then the next line underneath, this is a 254-39068 ZX2, and this is a 252-18039-9A2. Underneath that it says 541 GDFA, and on this one, on the very bottom line, it says 603 GDFA. So I'm going to presume we've got batch numbers, but they're both the same chip. This one is the newer version of this, batch wise, but they're both the same chip. They're both going to have the same abilities, and looks like I've lost my little clippy things come off, and I presume that's come off. No, it's come off the old one, so it doesn't really matter, but I shall put it back on again. It won't be difficult, they just clip in, not a problem. So that's what I've got to think about at the minute, is this. I don't have a board that works. At the end of this, even if I get sent another board, I still have two boards. Okay, yes, I can power up this board, and I get the screen works, the GPS works, and it starts bringing in GPS, so I can see that works. But I can't use the button on here. It doesn't function as the button, so I can't do any updates to it, and I can't use the video on it anyway. And that still won't help me fix the FC issue. But I need to look at that as a separate issue. First of all, I've got to have a controller that works. Or, you know, even if I have the FC that's working without the controller, I still can't do the rest of the matching of the RX to it and the TX side of this. So, what do I do first? I mean, this is the board that I'm using, so I don't think I'm going to be doing this one first. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get this off first. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a hot air gun. I'm going to put a bunch of flux around here, and I'm going to gently heat up the board in this area. I'm just going to warm up the board, get it warmer and warmer, and then I'm going to zoom in and concentrate on this area once all this has come to a decent enough acclimatized temperature. I don't want to go straight in with hot on here and be adjusting this temperature too much. I'm not trying to save everything on here, I'm just trying to ensure it's just good practice in a way. And I don't want to damage this chip. I will just try and flow the solder. It's going to probably look messy to start off with, and then I'm just going to try and lift the chip and try and do minimal damage, no damage at all, hopefully. Well, if I damage the chip, it's game over anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. But first of all, before I do that, I'm just feeling a bit peckish. I'm going to get a bit of toast and make myself a coffee and just get ready for this job. Now I realise through feedback that I've had that my soldering techniques are not approved by some. I realise that my soldering techniques are definitely not approved. But I'm not really looking for approval. I'm looking just to get a task done, and to get it done without damaging anything else. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence when I can actually smell something burning already. But I think it's coming from this particular hot air. I don't know what type of solder's on here, whether it's lead free or leaded. It's going to make a difference to this, definitely. But it seems to. Now I've never done a chip with as fine pins on it as this before. I'm quite nervous about it, but this is a needs must, and at the end of the day I have two boards that don't work at the moment, and so I'm really losing out on nothing. But if I can do this successfully, I'm going to be gaining one, the experience, and two, I'll have a working board. I'd like to see this have a bit more movement on it. I'd like to see that. This, of course, is the one that I don't want to damage, as this is the replacement chip. Okay, so that's that off. That doesn't look too bad, and it looks like the board's not damaged at all. There's a little tiny bit there. I'll probably do just pushing that down. It's just a little bit cold. That's fine. Okay, let's I'll take a look at that in a second, since it's cooled down a bit. Get some here, nice and gentle. Yeah, apart from that one pin, it just pulled up very slightly off that pad. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, so I'm going to just pop that back down there. Okay, that's nice and flat again. I don't know if you can actually see that in the camera, but that's it, that's off. That's good. So hopefully that's going to be just as painless on the next one. So let me just put that out of the way and find the other board. And it's just, these just pull off. I just want to get them out of the way, just so they're not in the way if I need to have my hands or anything there, they're not just sticking up in the middle of this. I'm just going to put this a bit further out of the way where the other one was, because I want the space. That's why I've cleared a bit of space here. It's not necessarily I need to put my hands everywhere, it's just nicer when you got it. Some might say, oh, you've put on a lot of flux to start off with, but to be honest with you, I don't care how much flux I put on, as long as it's not completely overboard. Like that is to start off with, but I just want to get a good old spread on there. I just want to get a good spread of flux, and then I'll clean it off a bit. I don't want that fluxing everywhere, I don't have to fanny about with this too much. So, pull them off. And pull that off. Because that last amount of flux was, you know, pretty much there, wasn't it? Okay, let's get that wand heating up again. I'm just going to go around the board just to get the board acclimatised a bit. Didn't notice actually, was there a switch? Yeah. There's a... Oh, that's strange. On this one, that crystal there, there's supposed to be a crystal here. On the other board there's a crystal here as well, but there isn't one there. So I'm going to start concentrating on this chip now. It is recording, isn't it? Yeah, just checking, because sometimes I do this, things like this, and I go and look and realise I've not even recorded it, and I'm not going to re-put it back on to do it again. So, and that's happened to me quite a few times when I've been doing things and I look and oh damn it, I didn't press record, or you know, I think I do, but I don't. Which isn't, I don't know if you're getting loads of wavy lines on the screen. I'm sorry if you are. I just got to do this in such a way that I can see what I'm doing. You know, I can see what I'm doing. That's it. It's a little bit warmer this time. Oops. I don't want it to. Okay, so that's exactly the same as what it did before. Trying to find somewhere underneath this I can just get a little bit. I'm not putting any pressure on as such, I'm just, all I'm trying to do is just get a little tiny bit of leverage, just when it does start moving I can just then give it a little bit of a helping hand, that's all. But it's just trying to get that underneath there in the first place, in a suitable place. You can see some this one I'm not that bothered about the chip itself, I'm more bothered about the board. It does seem to be a little bit harder to get this one off. Oh, and I've just lost the resistor over there. The resistor is happy to go off rather than the actual chip itself. It's alright, I can put that back. This is not proven to be the easiest. The last one was much easier. I think this is a different solder. Okay, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's off. It's off. Okay. Look at the damage, if anything. I really wish I had a microscope for this sort of thing. Unfortunately, I don't. I just have to use what I got. That there looks like it's going to be a fiddle. A little look and just make sure that that's going to be. Well, I wish I could see that better. Part of the problem is the ability to see this. But from what I can tell, that's not really going to be an issue. I've got the capacitor there has just come away a bit. And I'm going to get this resistor back on. Yeah, just that goes that way up. And that'd be a case of reflowing up, and I'll dip it into this flux. And that capacitor there, I think it just needs warming up. Keep in mind that I'm going to put that capacitor back into place as well. Okay, so well, apparently my video camera has only got so much memory space on it. So I don't know where it shut off because I didn't know it had shut off. But hopefully we got the gist of what was going on. Hopefully we got the gist that I had to use this board because I know that when I put this in, the screen was working, the GPS was collecting satellite connections. I couldn't tell you about the 2.4 gig, whether that was working or not, because I already checked those two things and that it had some functionality. So I'm pretty sure it was working when we decided that this is where the flashable firmware is kept, and that would suggest to me that that's probably where the issue is. So this is the little chip, and so then I was to put the chip from there, because that's the chip off this one, and I was to put the chip from there onto here. Nerve-wracking because I hadn't done it before, and well, I've done chips, you know, this sort of size on them DSO138s and these size, but not this size, not with this amount of pins at this size. It's quite nerve-wracking, especially as my eyes are terrible. They're out by 1 point, and I don't mean 0.1, I mean 1 point. So I'm near enough, well, not technically blind, but my vision when I went to the opticians and she put the lenses in front of me, I was like, whoa, hello world. I can actually see. So I can't wait to get those. I thought I would have heard from them by now, actually. So what we're going to do now is see if this darn thing works. I've gone ahead and I've put the battery in. I'm just going to find the case. We need the case, we need the case. The case, there's the back of the case. What do I do with the case? Yeah. Okay, so I'll probably speed up this bit because I've got no idea how long this video is going to take, and probably want some sticks on. This is what I'm saying about my eyes being bad. I can't even see that. Oh, there we go. I mean, I can see it, but it's just not focused. So, there you go. You get an idea of how bad my eyes are. Like, come on, get on there. Just trying to get the thing in the hole. Right, I need to use this. There we go. I think I was just trying to put it in the wrong way round. Story of my life. Okay, so now I don't know where we got to on the other video. So, and I think because I did the take apart bit on there, and I know that when I paused it, because I wanted to go and get some coffee and stuff, I know that it was still recording then. I don't know where the bloody screws are. Let's put that there, put that there. Oh yeah, stick these on. These are coming handy. They're really, really good. It stops the sticks from getting mashed about all over the place. Yeah, I don't know if that helps or not particularly. Here's one to try and screw in. So I'll speed this bit up. Now this is just for the switches. I don't really need to do the switches. Well, I suppose it'd be good to test them once it's all on. I'm not going to say working because that means I'm going to just jinx myself. I mean, I'm hoping. I've gone over it and I even went pin to pin pretty much for continuity, just in case I got anything, you know, where I shouldn't have. There we go. I'm not going to bother sticking those down any further than what they are. Right, so this is the GPS. Now, I'm not going to go straight onto a battery. I can't control the battery, and batteries can expel their power pretty damn fast in the right conditions, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go onto the power supply. So I'm going to use this power supply up here, this baby, because I can limit the current. I think the current's limited to about 1 amp anyway. That'll do. At the voltage I'm going to use, it's about 8 watts in it. Yeah. What are we on? 15 volts. That's no good. That's no good. Let's go down. That's 8 volt. That'll do. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to use 8 volts from the power supply. Now I need the right one. Twist these off a bit better. Doesn't matter which one I connect these onto because they're just connections in parallel. No, put on no. That'll do. Just chuck that in between there and there so they don't touch at all while I turn this around. So what we haven't got power button. Okay, on and off. On and off. Okay, right. I'm going to turn it on here. I'm going to turn it on there because I'm going to switch it on here and have my finger over the button in case I need to turn it off. So, ready? Oh. Hallelujah. 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 Okay, let me just well, I'm just going to turn it on again. I'm going to look for power, just jumping around, doing anything untoward. 2.5 watts. I think that's around about what it consumes anyway. As it sits, it'll be interesting to see if the GPS picks up any satellites just while it's sat there. There's wires to touch, so I'm just going to put it down for a second. You've no idea how sweaty I've just become with the anticipation of that. It's quite warm anyway. I'm just wondering if it's going to pick up any GPS. Now normally with this, what I've noticed is it sits and does nothing and bang, it's got like 5 or 6 and just starts going up from there. So it'll just be interesting to see. Now I did test it with the other board, and it was picking up GPS modules. So, but I suppose if there's something wrong with the way I've done that chip, there we go, 3, and it's working. It's doing what it's supposed to be. It's searching, it's finding, and it's working. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a break and just because I'm so excited now. Of course, this is just the first bit. This is the first bit. I suppose what I need to do as well is I need to do a test. I push that down, I push this down, and I go up. Will I get? Yes. That's what I need. That's what I need. Now I'm going to connect it to my computer. So let's just say, fingers crossed, that's a worker. Okay, that we're working. And with it like that, I can now put the back on and just tidy it all up, and then get the computer and let's see if we can flash the RX on there.